Welcome back to the Game of Warriors. My name is SkullCrusher Boom Beach. I will be your host, unofficial esports caster, and participant in Group A. If this is your first time here, I'm going to redirect you to this video right here. Now, this video will explain and break down the rules, regulations, points, scoring, and points table. If you are returning from yesterday's video, let's get ready to bring the hammer down. Let's do this. What an exhilarating Op 7 from Group A. All 4 participants picking up a solo, but not all picking up a point. Lone Wolf with an astounding 6-point lead. Lone is guaranteed a spot in Division 1 should he score a point in Game of Warriors playoffs for Group A. Now, let's move on to Jabs, who did have the 210 base for Op 7. Jabs with a visit to the Queen yesterday and did have a blue light, which means we have a solo. Let's take a look at this madness here. 210 Centaur is what Jabs did have, and not to mention we do have an engraver sighting over here with armor being selected here. You're probably going to see armor and adrenaline quite frequently here, but it looks like Jabs did capitalize on landing craft bonus. More on that after the hit. Let's check this madness out. And here we go. Critter box coming out on that right side, opening up the mines there. I want to point out that we've got 4 critter launchers on the left where there should be 4 shield generators. So there are the only 4 shield gens on the right side here. Far left side does have the 4 critter launchers. We do have 7 boats of warriors being deployed with a flare landing to the far right side of the beach here. Beautiful flare directly retargeting the machine gun and a follow-up shock, which means those 2 shock mines are now no longer a threat. So while the warriors now regroup on the shocked machine guns and cannon, we do have a barrage coming out, clearing necessary mines around the power core. You know we're opening that up. Critter box coming out for boom cannon and cannon distraction as we have the warriors now making quick work of those shield generators. More critters coming out for power cell farming as Jabs does reflare to regroup his warriors before they spread any further. Beautiful job taking out the shield gens as we recover under a ground flare and regroup on an anchor flare directly on the cannon. As Jabs takes a minute to catch his breath, he then follows up with a flare directly to the power cell to regroup before we make our next move. A beautiful job. Bullit does peek on the outside there. Bullit does peek again, but we don't have any shock launchers, so nothing to worry about. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Why is Jabs flaring so high? We're going to pause this for just a second here. So Jabs actually has flared the machine gun up top here. Now, you're probably thinking, what, is Jabs going to take out the machine guns and the flamethrowers before he does redirect the flare to the core? Well, not quite. Let's take a look. As the madness continues here, you're actually going to see a follow-up smoke on the flamethrower at approximately 2 o'clock and a reflare to that flamethrower. We're going to pause it again right now because I want you to see Bullit's placement right now. Bullit is at approximately 3 o'clock of the core right there to the right of that flamethrower, which means the 3 flamethrowers directly behind the core, at least a good chunk of those machine guns. I'm going to say at least 1, 2, 3, 4, and possibly 5 over here with the snipers getting pulled in here, which means the biggest threat right now, believe it or not, these 8 mortars. These 8 mortars right over here. So let's pay attention and see what Jabs does as the smoke gets ready to expire. As those smokes get ready to expire, you should see the flare coming out directly to the power core. The smoke timer should be about 10 o'clock before that flare does come. Beautiful job on the reflare, and there's the shock on the mortars. Follow-up shock on the flamethrowers that were not pulled in by taunt, and look at that orange glow directly behind Bullit. Okay, that is technical. That is beautiful Bullit placement right there. You know Jabs has hit an op or 2. He knows what he's doing. Absolutely beautiful here. And as those shocks get ready to expire, I think we do have a follow-up. No, we have a med kit on the core. Golden Halo or health for the Warriors. Absolutely beautiful. And Jabs does end up picking up 200 on that op right there with 1 landing craft bonus as well. Not to mention our troop loss thrown in there as well. Looks like Jabs did decide to flip off the Queen on that one. Well done, buddy. Let's move on to my hit. I did have the 184 base, which was Strange Attractors, and believe it or not, Boom Gods were on my side with this one, as I did not have any shield gens for this SA. Do not tell Uffy, she is definitely shaking her head at me. Let's check this madness out, and I'm taking a note out of Lone's notebook on this one. I'm actually using armor engraving. We've actually benched adrenaline for the time being. Bam, you, my friend, might want to take note as well. I think I did tell Bam to use adrenaline. Let's check this madness out here. By the way, 4 landing crafts of warriors, and hero of choice with Bullit, which means I did capitalize on massive landing craft bonus. Let's see. So we're going to pause it for just a second here, just so you can take in this madness with me. No shield generators. No shield generators, which means it doesn't matter what defenses are there. Lasers, you know, damage amplified shock launcher, not to mention 4 shock launchers surrounding the core here. This is a full send directly to the power core because we do not have any shield gens. So here we go. So we do have 1 smoke, 2 smoke drop with a high flag on the mid left ramp here. Follow-up flare as the 3rd smoke comes out and we anchor on the power cell. Follow-up anchor directly to the flamethrower at approximately 5 o'clock of the power core. Warriors are making their way up. We do drop a 1, 2, 3, 4 core smoke drop as the Warriors do regroup on the flamethrower. An aggressive follow-up flare directly to the power core. Bullit tucked away under the coverage of smoke. Bullit should actually peek right before my smokes do. There we go. Taunt is activated, and take a look at that. We've actually got a shock coming down at a far 7 there, pinning down the damage amplified shock launcher being the biggest threat. Another shock coming out, pinning down the dual lasers, and we did try our best to pretty much get the flamethrowers that were not going to be pulled in by Taunt. Bullit did actually get pulled in by that grappler right off the bat here, but the necessary defenses were shocked, which means we are taking damage from single shot, meaning the snipers, but this is the armor engraving working its magic. Even after the nerf, only 2 casualties on that hit. Mustard in the bottle. Boom! Goes the dynamite. Absolutely beautiful. An absolutely beautiful solo on SA there without the shield generators. Another nursery rhyme actually comes to mind. Tick tock, hickory dickory dock. Scully's warriors ran up the clock. The clock struck 1, the core went down. Hickory dickory dock. Warriors, come out and play. And it looks like I end up scoring 44 bonus points and only troop loss is 2. Pretty much did leave Jab a tough scent. I steal a point from Jabs on Op 7. The leader of the pack, Lone Wolf, picks up a point as Bam Bam went for his 84 base and did the new bandit hit, which is 2 boats of warriors and hero, picking up a score of 133, including a troop loss of 17. Let's make our way over to Bam's hit, and Bam did have adrenaline as the engraving of choice, and that's right, your eyes are not deceiving you. That is 20 total warriors, 2 boats of warriors and Bullit, 84 force points. Now, Bam, of course, did have the choice here, and he decided to go for the lowest FP base and capitalize on massive landing craft bonus. Let's check this madness out. Bam! Starting things off with a critter coming up high and far right. We've got easy power cells for the farming. Now remember, guys, every power cell that does get farmed here is 3 gunboat energy being added to the bank. While the critters are farming away at the top right, Supreme Bam is getting ready to make his next move. Critter's still chewing away. It looks like we've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 21, 24. After that one goes down, 27 GBE right now. Honestly, probably going to make our way up to about 30 or so. There's the artillery coming out, clearing necessary boom mines, which we already know the path that Bam will be taking to the power core here. Critters are still farming at the top right there. 1 smoke drop on the mid left there. High flag drop with Bullit and warriors flanking on his left and right. That's 1 and 2 boats. Ground flare as we then redirect to the anchor flare under the coverage of smoke on the machine gun. Follow-up smoke as we then transition flare directly to the flamethrower at approximately 5 o'clock of the power core. Warriors do peak on the right side of the smoke as we transition to the power core here. Bam Bam should get ready with at least a 2 smoke drop. Whoa! Very aggressive 4-smoke drop here. Okay, we're going to pause this for 1 second. I'm going to be honest with you. This might be the only constructive criticism for the op here. But it does look like those 2 back smokes are not necessary. If you actually do pay attention and look closely to Bam's 2 boats of warriors, they are fully submerged under the 2 smokes at the bottom of the core, directly where Bullit is. Pretty much from about, looks like 3 o'clock all the way to about, I'm going to say 7, 8 o'clock. That's pretty much where the 2 boats of warriors have surrounded the core, which means those 2 smokes on the top right there, I feel like are a waste of gunboat energy and GBE that could have been used for Bullit's ability, more shocks, more critters, but let's let these smokes expire and see what happens. As those smokes get ready to expire, explosive drones. It looks like we've got 2 boxes of explosive drones coming out on the power core for help. Multiple shocks coming out, actually pinning down the Doom Cannon and multiple rocket launchers. We have another one coming out on the far shock launcher, and another one actually pinning down the dual cannons directly behind, or I should say to the right of the power core here. Now that's actually a pretty smart move, shocking those 2 cannons there, because with 2 boats of warriors, single shot defenses are gonna hurt. Let's proceed. And as those smokes expire, yet another critter box comes out. Taunt is activated, pulling in everything directly behind Bullit right there. We do have those flamethrowers behind the core, chipping away at our warriors. Follow-up shock, pinning down the 2 cannons of the right of the core. Warriors are going down, but so is the health on that core. And just like that, boom! Goes the dynamite. That was technical. That was aggressive. That was massive landing craft bonus. Bada boom, baby. Bam, that was a beautiful 2 boats of warriors and Private Bullit solo on 84 force point quota. Way to go, quota. Yeah, quota. Way to go, buddy. Now, let's take a look at the leader from Group A, Lone Wolf, who did have the 159 Excel, and once again, 4 boats of warriors capitalizing on a landing craft bonus, only with 10 casualties as well, keeping the troop loss at a minimum. Beautiful max engraver right there. I believe almost a max engraver. That's 74% reduction from the armor engraving. Let's check this madness out. And that is a lot of rocket launchers on the left side right there. We've got a high flag, mid-ramp landing there. 4 bolts of warriors, anchor flare on the power cell under the coverage of smoke. Follow-up reflare to anchor on the rocket launcher at high 12 o'clock. As the warriors make their way to the anchored rocket launcher, we should see a 4-core smoke drop coming out on the power core here. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4 transition flare right as our anchor smokes expire. And look at that shock on that microwaver right there. That microwaver is going to be a nuisance. And I'm going to pause it for 1 second here, because not only do we have the microwaver, which obviously is probably one of the biggest threats when it does come to warriors attacking the core, and the microwaver being in range of the core, we also have incredible bullet placement, not to mention the absurd amount of rocket launchers that we do have on the left side of Excel here. But Bullit's placement right now is actually going to be pulling in these 2 flamethrowers right here and at least 6 rocket launchers. And not only that, but the other rocket launchers should be targeting Bullit as well, freeing up more space for the warriors to not take excessive damage. Okay, this is incredible technical bullet placement. You can definitely tell not only does Lone Wolf play warriors, but you can also tell that Lone Wolf plays warriors on ops as well. This is beautiful execution, and this is a very technical hit that Lone Wolf is pulling off right now. So let's continue this madness and let's let these smokes expire. As those smokes get ready to expire, shocks on the machine guns. We should have a follow-up shock on the microwaver. And look at that taunt! No need to shock anything south of Bullit right there. All 8 taunted. Well, 6 rocket launchers, 2 flamethrowers. We should have a follow-up shock coming directly to the microwaver. Machine guns now spraying lead left and right of the warriors, flanking them on both sides. But boom! Goes the dynamite, and Lone Wolf shows us how it's done. Beautiful hit, beautiful execution. Well done, buddy. Well done. Let's see the updated points table for Group A, Op 7. Lone, 16 points. Scully, 12. Congrats to Lone. Starts off Division 1 next Monday, and well-deserved. Bam, stays on 5 points, while Jab leapfrogs him by 1 point to move to 6 points. Scully, guaranteed Division 2, and the fight for the bottom is down to the final op. Good luck, everyone. Moving on to the updated points table for Op 7, Group B. Crusher, as expected, off the 210 base, takes 3 points with just 1 troop loss and 3 points for him, takes his tally to 10 points on the league table. There was also a slight error yesterday on the points table for Group B, but that has now been rectified, as you can see. Frank, who was in second position, now moves to third. Frank picks up 2 points with a score of 209. Crusher stays about him, irrelevant of the difference, as Crusher has 1 more solo. 6 picks up 1 point to go into the final op with just 1 point above both Crusher and Frank. Op 8 is massive. One thing for sure, Frank, who even though got his solo in a score of 131, will start in Division 4 next week. Moving over to Op 7 Group C, updated points table. Launch Route hits a duality with 2 landing crafts of warriors, guaranteeing 3 points for this op. That's an LOB score of 250. Absolutely insane. Watch out for this guy, people. Toe takes the 2 points with a score of 212, including 2 troop loss and 55 landing craft bonus points. Both Trout and Toe are loving these bonus points. It's like 2 iced teas. Duck, with an 86 solo score, takes 1 point. Trout on 14 moves to top. Rufus stays on 12. Toe moves up to 6 and 3 behind Duck, who takes 1 point to move to 9. Top spot is still all to play for, and Toe may have a sniff of playing in Division 3. And now, Group D, Op 7, updated points table. Group D is going mad. Uffy fails a horrible Java, which leaves the doors open for the Sniffer Dogs fighting for that top spot. P takes 3 points and is on 12 points. Jas takes 2 points and is on 13 points. Wolf takes 1 point and is on 13 points also. Final op is Wolf 210, Jas 184, P 159, and Uffy with choice. What a crazy group, and stay tuned for tomorrow to see who takes what. Thank you all for tuning in to Game of Warriors updated points table for Op 7. We will be returning tomorrow for Op 8 and finalizing and closing Season 1 of Game of Warriors. Have a wonderful night, my friends. I will see you all tomorrow.